The best time for me throughout the year are the days after monsoon. It kind of makes sense because the greenery is still out there. You don't have to carry the raincoat all over the places in which you like, no matter how handsome you are or good looking you are, you look like penguin if you're carrying that raincoat, if you're wearing that raincoat. I admit that. There are no puddles all over the places, no muddy roads, and temperature is nice and cold. Times like this, my friends, you just want to call your buddies and go out and have some fun. That's what we are going to do today.
See, I finally opened up my eyes, and I saw me coming back to life. That I'd be better without you inside. It's time to be someone I wanna recognize. The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. I'm not backing down, 'cause the future is now. Not backing down, 'cause the future is now.
दिख जाएगा दिखाएगा
The future starts right now. I made a reservation, but you never came, so I'm checking out. The fire you stole away, I know one day we'll come back around. The future is now. The future is now. The future is now.
Okay, let's keep this aside. Alright, so that was fun. I had amazing time with my friends after a long time. Now let's talk about the important topic. Even you guys have been asking me this question, most of you guys, that what camera do I use, what lenses do I use, in general what gear do I use. So computer,
Yes, sir.
roll the intro.
All right.
No, not that one.
Then,
The other intro, the product video that we shot yesterday.
okay, got it.
Yeah, here we go. Alright, so that's all it is. That's all the gear that I use. Now, before we even start talking about it, I want to clarify one thing, that all this expensive gear that you see in the market are just secondary, are just supplementary to the art of this filmmaking. I'm not saying it's not important. It does makes a lot difference in the final film. What really matters is what's in here and what's in here. How passionate you are about telling that specific story, and how open you are to learn constantly and keep improving about this art of filmmaking. Because I've seen people sleeping in theaters watching big budget Hollywood movies, and at the same time I've seen people getting engaged into the story watching some independent film or some documentary on their laptop or mobile phone. So that's what really matters. If you're new in this industry, if you're new in this art of storytelling or filmmaking, ask yourself, how can I possibly tell a story that can engage the audience and audience can relate to, instead of what camera can I use to tell that story, because that really doesn't matter. That's just secondary thing. Alright, so let's talk about what gear do I use. Starting with camera, I use Nikon D7500 for almost all the shoots. It's my main camera. I use it for interviews, talking heads. I use it for my vlogs, B-rolls. I'm using it right now. I also use it for paid project if the budget is not that good enough. Now I know. Why Nikon, right? I mean, we all know that Nikon is not that good enough for video purposes. For photography, it's nice, it's amazing. But for videos, it's okay, it's not that good enough. But like I said earlier, it doesn't really matter what camera do you use, but it does really matters how you use it. And even 3 years back when I bought this camera, it perfectly suited my needs and my budget. I mean, it's good enough in low light. It has 4K, it has flat picture profile that helps me to get maximum details in shadows. It has weather sealed body. That's really important for me because I take this camera in some uncomfortable situations like near waterfalls. I've also used this camera in shallow rainfall and that doesn't really bother me and even to the camera. And I have shot a short documentary on this camera on my short film and I think it's not that bad. I mean, it does its job, it fulfills its needs, it fulfills its purpose. What else I can ask for? Moving on the lens, I use Sigma 17 to 50 mm f2.8. I use this lens very aggressively in all my films if I'm using this camera. It's sharp, it's wide enough to get all the work done. It has aperture 2.8. Also, it's very cheap compared to other f-stop 2.8 aperture. I bought this in 27,000 and all other lenses comes above 50,000, so that's a huge bonus. The next thing I have is GoPro Hero 7. It's kind of outdated I feel right now after the launch of Hero 9 in the market, but it does its jobs. I use it for my vlogs, decent quality, easy to use, easy to carry. It shoots hyperlapse, time lapse, fits in my pocket. I just love it. The sound quality is not that good enough. I'm planning to upgrade with an external mic on it, but other than that, it just works for me. Now, speaking of mic, I use Zoom H1 for my recording purposes. It's just amazing. The quality that it delivers with the price range that it comes, I use it for everything, for my interview setups, talking heads, voiceovers, recording on sets, Foley sounds, just everything. Next in the list is GlideCam. If you're a beginner and you have a low budget and you need some stable shots in your videos, you should use this. In the beginning, it's a bit hassle because you really need good practice to get your hands on it, but once you get grip on it, it's just amazing. You can take amazing table shots and moving shots with it. It just works great. Then to step up and upgrade yourself, if you have a good budget, then you can put your hands on this one. It's really good. It's so good in stabilization. It just goes on another level. This one is Zhiyun Crane 2. Now there are a lot of options and upgrades in the market. You should definitely check it out. It just takes your production level on another level. You just put your camera on it and you can run with it and there would be no shake, perfectly stable footage. It just takes that on another level. A little side note on this, I don't own this gimbal. Yash has bought it, but I use it very frequently, so it's in my kit. Whenever I need it, I always ask him and he always says yes. So yeah, that's all the gear that I use. 6 or 7 things to be very precise in my kit. For some of you it's not much, for some of you it's really too much. When you see these gears in the market or other people using it, it's really intimidating. It really feels like I should have it. Even I feel less when I see people using drones in their footages and I cannot use it, but I just constantly remind myself that don't just let these things stop you from telling your stories. You know, it's your story, it's your ideas, it's your ambitions behind telling that story that really matters. All these gears and all these things are just temporary. Anybody can have it who has money, but ideas really need to develop that. So I'll leave you with that. I'll just focus on good things. All other things will fall into place. And as always, be healthy, be creative, and I will see you in the next episode.